I recently got back from a trip from attending NAMM 2014, which was awesome and exciting and everything you could possibly want it to be. And I'm noticing a trend with the mainstream guitar makers, and that is 9-string guitars. Now, I'm all for doing, more in like extreme kind of stuff. And that's cool, and I dig that. However, 9 strings? 9, really? At some point, I would think the bass players of the world would start breaking a sweat, because what we're essentially doing is just eliminating their role, and we're all just going to be a big happy family of bass players. Now, I get with the 8 strings and the 9 strings and the 10 strings and so on and so forth that there are a very small percentage of people that actually really, use them. I'm talking about players like Tobin from Animals as Leaders, Josh Travis of Gas Cloud, who interestingly enough I met at the Roundup booth, and he's a super, super nice guy. Sarah Longfield, and so on and so forth. Those players really use, I feel, really kind of utilize everything that those instruments have to offer. But on a side note, does more strings and tuning lower make you heavier? What I mostly heard people talking about regarding these 9-string instruments and 10-string instruments that were at NAMM was, dude, that's gonna make me so much heavier. Which really got me thinking, does detuning make you heavier? I don't think it does. And there are different kinds of heavy, and there's emotionally heavy, and there's atmospherically heavy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about heavy. For example, take any Lamb of God album. They are in standard tuning, drop D. And that stuff is heavy, man. And on the flip side of that, you have a band like Meshuggah, who are super, extremely heavy. But I don't think that necessarily has as much to do with the tunings their guitars are in, but the grooves and the music that they are actually playing. I could be totally off here, and if I am, I'm sorry. But I think the current trend of detuning and adding more strings and just detuning is not maybe so healthy. Because at some point, everything is just going to get a super flabby mess, and bass players are going to get more cramped. Their job roles are now just essentially, eliminated, kind of. And more bands will sound the same. And that's not original. What happened to songwriting? What do you think? Does detuning make you heavier? Does it make you heavier to a point? Or does tuning really have nothing to do with heavy? I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments below and let me know if I am totally off or not. I don't think I'm that off, but I could be off. I don't know. I might be off.